I need you to fuck me right here, right now. That's what I shouted at my client Adam over all the background noise while we were out one night. Out of curiosity, when was the last time a woman begged that of you, as she grabbed at your pants and basically forced herself on top of you? It may seem far-fetched, but it's actually incredibly simple to get a woman that hot anytime you want. Let me explain. When you add 3 unique elements into the normal everyday conversations that you're already having, you're going to trigger an uncontrollable chemical reaction throughout her entire body that's going to force her to want to be your private little sex slave who will have an unquenchable thirst for your dick. Hi, I'm Jessica J, and I want you to think of me as your undercover double agent. And right now, I'm going to reveal to you the dirty secrets that women wish you knew, that causes us to want to peel off our clothes and press our naked bodies against yours. I taught these secrets to a client of mine who used it to pick up his waitress, and by the end of his meal, she was tugging at his belt buckle and begging him to come home with her. You may know me as an up-and-coming host and sex educator on Playboy Radio. Due to contractual obligations with them, I'm very soon going to be forced to pull this video offline for good. So I need you to pay close attention right now while you still can. Because I'm also going to share with you a very unique resource that you can use to become her masturbation fantasy. Even if you're sure she's not that kind of girl, or you're positive she's not attracted to you physically. After being seen on Nightline for my work as a dating coach, I was hired by Playboy to be an in-house sexpert to help guys like you from all over the world live out their wildest sexual fantasies and even meet the women of their dreams and fall completely and helplessly in love. Before that, I worked as a clinical relationship therapist where I had to study attraction, devotion, love, and sexual tension at the highest possible levels. And now, for the first time, I'm finally able to take you by the hand and reveal exactly what a man needs to say and do to unleash any woman's raw, animal-like sexual desires on you. Where it doesn't matter what you look like, who she is, or what the circumstance is, because she will want nothing more than to satisfy her own need to grip her pussy around something. And that something will be you. It's the same stuff that gets all these teachers to risk their jobs and reputations to have threesomes with these teenage boys. It's the same stuff that caused me to cross my own professional boundary with my client Adam when I begged him to fuck me. And it's the same stuff that's going to get women wanting you in ways that makes them hungrily chase after you without any logical reason other than the need to have you inside her. Right now, I consider you to be one of my clients on a probationary trial. As you can imagine, what I'm about to give you is more powerful than any attraction, dating, or sex advice you've ever heard before. So if you plan on using this information just to get more notches on your belt or brag to all your friends about all the women coming and going in and out of your bedroom without even caring to remember their names, then leave right now. We have enough of those guys in the world right now, and I don't want to have any part in creating more of them. On the other hand, if you consider yourself to have any of the following characteristics, this video may be just what you need. First one, you put on your nicest outfit, look in the mirror, and say to yourself, I'm looking pretty good right now. And yet, you still wonder why women aren't initially attracted right off the bat. Or you're a decent, honest, smart guy who treat a woman well, but you're frustrated that you don't have the same opportunities with women that all those other dogs with lesser values have been handed. Or for whatever reason, your interactions just don't usually go the way you'd like them to when you're speaking with a woman for the first time. If any of this sounds like you, then excellent! You're the exact kind of guy that will get the most value from what I'm about to give you. Now, I teach this stuff to all my clients and always find myself feeling those same levels of attraction. I just happen to terminate our work and send them off into the world before anything more happens. You see, even though I know what they're doing and how it works, I am still completely powerless to it. And I'll admit that. Again, I make sure I don't cross any lines with my clients, and I keep it very professional and very PG. And then that night with Adam happened. That night, I'm out with him and 4 other clients of mine. After teaching these 3 things to all of them, just like any other client, I send them out into the wide world of women to practice for themselves, while I help on the sidelines. Adam is different, though. While the other guys are excited to go out and try, Adam won't move. I see the sweat form on his forehead, and with his eyes down, I start to see the tears forming in the corners of his eyes. Now, I'm all for pushing my clients to their potential, but I am not one for bullying them. So I tell him, Adam, you're going to practice on me then, okay? He looks up relieved, wipes his eyes, and nods. Then he looks at the other guys to see their reactions, and bless their hearts, they understand. They've been there before, and they get it. So the other guys take off, while Adam sits with me to implement the 3 elements he just learned. First, he says, I've never done this stuff before, I've never done therapy or talked to anyone about this stuff. It's insane to me. How did you get to where you are? So, conversation's now rolling as expected. Then he says, when I die, I want to come back as a hot girl and just get free drinks and gifts. Or I can come back as you and help another version of my nerdy self get laid. Now I'm laughing and clutching him as I do. And hello, I clearly know this is fake, right? And yet the feelings instantly start brewing inside me, like some knee-jerk reaction that I don't have time to even think about. Then he hammers it home with the final step and says, I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't have you for the rest of my freaking life, Jessica. The second the words leave his mouth, I look up at him completely stunned. Stunned at the fact that I knew it was coming, and I'm still utterly elated, schoolgirl crushing on him, and turned on and wanting him to take me into a dark corner, to pin my arms above my head and have his way with me. He still can't even look at me. And with that, I find myself starting to lightly touch him and talk more, determined to make him feel comfortable and excited, and determined now to make him want me. I find myself wondering if I'm his type, wondering if he has this fantasy of seducing me. Then out of nowhere, I find myself with my arm linked in his while I'm squeezing his bicep and biting my lip, hoping for dear life that none of the other clients come back and interrupt us. We'd been here maybe an hour, and in that hour, he's nailed it. Everything from my pelvis down is aching, but it's more than that. It's like a throbbing, uncomfortable pain where it hurts just to sit next to him right now. Then midnight strikes, and the other clients come back. I blush to think that they know what's going on in my head or between my legs. All 4 of them met women that they were going to go back to now or had gotten numbers to meet up with later. Now, what I didn't tell you is that I have my girlfriends meet me after these outings so I can take a load off and just relax. And sure enough, as the other 4 guys go to leave, my 7 girlfriends show up. Adam's still here because I actually haven't let him go. I'm literally still holding on to him at this point. I wave my friends over, and to my extreme dismay, Adam immediately sets his eyes on my gorgeous friend, Sunny. Big-breasted, blonde-haired Latina who's known for getting any guy she wants and turning down mostly any guy who tries. I want to slap her as soon as Adam opens his mouth to talk to her because she immediately lights up and introduces herself when she normally ignores every guy who talks to her. At first I think, okay, she's just being polite, right? Then I see her start biting her lip, twirling her hair, and then touching his chest the way I was just doing. Sunny's one of my best friends, and yet this was enough for me to hate her in this moment and want to gouge her freaking eyes out. I don't even hear my girlfriends trying to talk to me before I grab up Adam by his arm and yank him as far away from Sunny as possible. He looks really embarrassed, and he apologizes, saying, "I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have tried this stuff on your friend. That was very wrong of me. I'm just really excited to finally use this stuff, Jessica. I can't thank you enough." I don't even address what he says, because I've had enough. There's this pain in my pussy that I know can only be relieved with one thing. And I grab both of his hands to wrap his arms around me. Then I put my lips to his left ear and tell him as loudly and as quietly as possible, "Listen, I need you to fuck me right here, right now." And that was the moment I lost all sense of logic, reason, and professionalism. Did Adam suddenly look like Brad Pitt? No. Was Adam being louder, talking more, or coming on to me? No. Was I able to logically tell myself that it wasn't real and disregard the fact that I was wet and wanting him right there? Hell no. None of that mattered because in this moment I felt the need to have him inside me, and you couldn't stop me from making that happen. That was the night I realized this information is so powerful and so easy that I was almost doing guys a disservice by not getting it out there. You see, the secret to getting women to lust after you uncontrollably is actually pretty simple once you know these three elements. Every woman knows this. Her biggest erogenous zone is her brain. The only tool you need to get her looking at you like a hungry wolf ready to attack its prey is knowing how to flip the right switches in there by using a very seemingly innocent conversational technique, which you probably don't even realize you're already using just about every day. When you use these three elements in the right order, they trigger a wave of emotions that hit one after the other, harder each time and with every next step used. It's like a drug of pleasurable sensations that work to cause an increasing tension between her legs. And if you can open your mouth to talk to a girl, you can get her to drag you by the hand and beg you to fuck her. And since she gives you these signals unconsciously, there's no way for her to fake it and play games, so you'll never have to worry about her leading you on or just being polite. Now, the first element is intrigue. Every day, you probably have tons of interactions that blend in with one another that are easily forgettable. Think about someone you might wave to and say hi randomly to in passing. Do you even remember doing so later in the day? Probably not, am I right? Now, imagine if that person came over and said, "Hey, how are you?" You probably wouldn't be too interested to engage in that conversation. You might be polite and answer him, but let's be honest, that conversation would probably die out pretty quickly, right? But if that person began the conversation with something like, "Oh my gosh, I just tripped and fell down the stairs, I'm so embarrassed," or, "If I don't eat something soon, I don't know what I'm gonna do," you'd probably have something you'd automatically say to that. This is called adding an intrigue point, and it's even more powerful when used on a woman you want to get naked with. When guys approach women, 9 times out of 10, they're asking the same job interview style questions that she's heard a million times and is tired of answering. If you're even lucky enough to get an answer, she's probably just being courteous. No woman's panties have ever become soaking wet after having to explain for the millionth time where she went to school or what she does for fun. And yet, when you add some simple intrigue points into your typical conversation, it hooks her in because she sees you as somebody just like me. It's pretty easy to tell when you're doing this right because she's talking just as much, if not more than you. She'll even start asking you questions. Once you start seeing this, and it can happen within seconds, you're ready to go on to step number 2, which is enhance. Essentially, with enhance, you're brightening her day, improving her situation, leaving her better off than when you found her. All women have a general guard up against people that they're not yet comfortable with. When she's intrigued by you, the guard begins to come down. Only by getting her to smile and laugh thereafter will you enhance her overall experience with you. Now she's subconsciously associating you with feeling good. And now the guard is officially down. At this point, you'll notice she's giggling more easily, smiling more, and possibly even playing with her hair. She may even begin to lightly touch you as a signal that there's no longer a wall between you. The last and final step is arouse. When a woman already feels intrigued and enhanced by you, the last remaining step is to show her you desire her. When she feels safe, comfortable, and excited around you, you automatically turn her on by taking the next step in showing her that you want her. At this point, she will experience a tension that can only be described as a beautiful agony, which causes us to only be able to focus on our sexual desires. This sensation is very similar to the feelings of hunger pains, except instead of an empty sensation in our stomachs, we have it in our pussies and desperately need to be filled. Because it's her body unconsciously causing these tensions inside her, she works to have you. And that's exactly what happened with me that night. I begged Adam to fuck me in a dark corner after he used this on me. And that's when I decided that this stuff needed to be out there for guys like my own clients, guys like Adam, and guys like you who deserve to take a break from doing all the hard damn work to get women. I went to work and took all of my years of practice and experience and tied it all together into the most complete step-by-step training course of its kind in a program I call Speak To Spark Arousal. And now, for the first time ever, it's finally ready for you to download right away. Now, like I said, Speak to Spark Arousal is a 3-step automatic online training program where I give you the rope and automatic recoil button to pull in any woman you want by creating an instant surge of sexual attraction towards you, where she literally throws herself at you to relieve all the pent-up sexual tension she feels towards you, whether you've just met her or you've already known her for years. Dennis says, there's just one girl in my office of 30 guys. After going through just one cycle of Jessica's trusty triangle, Tanya started talking to me way more. After just 3 days of using this stuff, I came into my office this morning to find Tanya waiting for me, completely naked and nothing but a tie I had laying on one of my chairs. It's safe to say I got the one girl every other guy could never get. Adam says, I was in the airport and there was a gorgeous woman, so I decided to try Jessica's Alpha Wolf selection technique. I get her number and didn't even get a chance to text her before I had a new Facebook friend request and message. She admitted to Googling me to find me and couldn't wait to hear from me. Talk about being chased. Mark says, I've tried all the other shit that men have taught before. The routines, the tricks, and techniques that were supposed to work for every other guy out there. Jessica just got me the women I wanted. End of story. As you can see, this stuff is a real game changer for the guys who get their hands on it. It's the simple switch to finally getting the hot, ungettable girls you've always wanted, or having your yellow book of female phone numbers delivered to your house every week, or women handing themselves over to you on a silver platter and asking you, how do you want me? Whether you want her right then and there, or for more nights to come. It even works for the women who've already said things like, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, or the dreaded, I just want to be friends. Here's just a teeny tiny taste of the simple steps and done-for-you templates you'll learn if you're one of the lucky guys admitted into the program today. When you apply for Speak to Spark Arousal, you'll discover how to plant the seed of desire in any woman's mind and body. The automatic loop that continuously plays dirty thoughts and feelings of you within her for hours or even days after just one conversation, so that she's the one obsessing over you and coming up with sneaky little ways to see you again. You'll discover the casual approach myth, why you need to avoid saying things like, how are you? Or what's up when you first speak to a woman. You'll receive a step-by-step roadmap for getting women to want you within minutes. All you have to do is stick to the route and you'll not only get her excitedly talking and flirting with you, she'll also get your number by the end of it. You'll learn why practicing lines and routines will actually cripple your chances of sparking immediate attraction with a woman. You'll also get the detailed 3-step method to utilizing the infomercial technique to get her seeing you as the man wow she needs right now. Sorry, I had to. You'll find out how to flip your own switch on if you're painfully shy and can't seem to avoid awkward silences. Hell, you'll learn how to use silences to get her feeling an overwhelming amount of sexual tension that can only be relieved by her making a move on you. Discover the real deal on flirting and how you can get her thinking about ripping off your clothes without saying anything that feels too forward or creepy. If you're a guy who just doesn't talk much or you struggle with coming up with the next thing to say, you'll learn how to absolutely dominate the dating pool by talking less. You'll find out the one exception to being a nice guy. Knowing this will forever change how much time you spend trying to convince her that you're worth seeing again. You'll get the real answer to whether to show sexual interest immediately or not. Be careful though, because if you do this the way most dogs do, you will get slapped and laughed at. You'll find out how to deal with indifferent, closed-off girls who think they're too hot for every guy that tries to talk to them. Why you are absolutely forbidden to use the heavenly home slice, my technique for getting women to come home with you, without first asking if you really want to sleep with her too. You'll find out the shocking and surprisingly push-button way to get women hot and wanting you by first thinking with your dick. You'll also find out how I turned a 54-year-old divorcee who'd only been with one woman his whole life into a guy who has women blowing up his phone and waiting for him at his house naked, just by giving him 3 simple statements to casually drop throughout his dates. You'll find out how to use a sandwich to double the amount of numbers you get overnight. You'll find out the 5 questions you need to ask yourself before getting to the next level with women. This will cut your time in half that it takes you to aimlessly go out and try to meet women in all the wrong places. You'll get the secret to solving flaky numbers. You know, those numbers you call or text that never seem to lead anywhere. This is so easy once you understand why women give their numbers when they never want to see you again. You'll also discover how to obliterate any chance of hearing, sorry, I have a boyfriend, or I'm not interested, or I'm busy, without having to put yourself out there by even asking. You'll find out what to do once you have too many numbers to call and women demanding you stop seeing all those other girls. This is crucial time to implement pack mentality with the ISTF technique. You'll find out how to protect yourself from losing her little by little before you even notice she's out of your life. You'll find out the Scarface movie opener that will get women hooked and drooling over you 5 times faster than, "What's your name?" or "How's it going?" You'll also find out how to make a woman feel completely ridiculous if she doesn't go home with you that night. Also, how to systematize your conversations so that you can put your sexually escalating conversations on autopilot without having to force yourself or get in your head about whether or not you're doing it right. The danger of being the funny guy and why you are destined for failure if you don't fix this right now. You'll also receive my 3-step fixer formula that takes you from getting one-word answers and awkward silences to her giving 75% to the conversation shockingly fast. My only 3 responses you need in order to get a woman thinking, okay, he's not like the other guys. And how to create wildly enticing date ideas out of thin air to make it look like you are an absolute expert at sweeping a woman off her feet. And much, much more that I don't even have time to list right now. You'll get all of this and content available as streaming video, which you can watch immediately so that you can walk into any bar, grocery store, or crowded room tonight and just point at and pick up any woman you set your eyes on. You'll even get progress sheets and exercises where you can literally see the numbers of women entering your life with each passing day. In it, you'll get everything you need to know to make any woman want you uncontrollably, like me with Adam, regardless of your looks, your age, or how much money you've got. It's absolutely the most advanced attraction system you will ever come across because it's the only one that puts you in absolute full control over getting any woman you want within a matter of minutes. Okay, I think you get a sense of how beneficial this would be, how much you want the power to walk out of your house every day knowing that us ladies are waiting for you, and that we have been for a very long time. And now, I have some good news and I have some bad news. First, the bad news. Earlier I said that I wasn't going to keep this video up for long because of my contractual obligations. And because I'm giving away all the seduction secrets that are supposed to be kept within the Playboy vault and for subscribers only, I'm being threatened with legal action to take this video down. I'm just fighting to keep it up for one simple reason. You see, as a woman who's dealt with all the other guys and jerks and dogs out there, and a woman who's personally been and seen how awful women can be too, I simply want more guys like you around. And if you've even made it this far in the video, you're the type of guy who deserves this information. I'm now looking for the cream of the crop, the top 1% of guys that really deserves this stuff. And if you're still here, you're it. We kind of lost track, so I gave you the bad news. Now the good news. When I taught this to my own clients, I charged $400 an hour, which means that some guys have spent thousands of dollars learning the very techniques available to you today. Now, what you don't know is that all the dogs out there have already been subconsciously weeded out from watching up to this part of the video. In fact, throughout this presentation, I've purposely planted subconscious easy exits for the guys who weren't worth the time I've spent putting all of this together. Meaning that because you're still here, you're part of the 1% of guys that I know is worth having the complete control and power over having any woman he wants. 100% complete control over all your interactions with women, so that you don't have to wait on them to tell you how good you were. And because I want the good guys out there who really need this stuff to have access to it, I won't let you pay thousands of dollars for it. You won't even pay $100. Right now, I'm giving you hundreds of dollars to use towards my training and making my entire Speak to Spark Arousal system available to you for just $77.95. You heard me right. $77.95. And I'm not even done in handing you more money. Because if you get on board with Speak to Spark Arousal right now, I'm also going to give you a couple honorary gifts. The 3 ways you run out of steam in conversation and how to course correct on site. You'll find out the 3 reasons you run out of things to say and how to quickly pick back up to get her engaged and excited to keep talking. Valued at $349.79. Yours today, free of charge, with your enrollment of Speak to Spark Arousal. On top of that, you'll also get on-hand templates to never struggle with what to say when you're with a woman ever again. Templates for continuing a seductive conversation without being creepy, and templates for asking her for her number and getting her to come home with you. All of which you can have personally saved on your phone everywhere you go. Valued at $37.99. You'll also get the Speak to Spark Arousal flowchart, which is a picture diagram of how you can move effortlessly through creating a connection, making her laugh, and getting her wanting you in more than friendly ways. It shows you what to do when you get one-word responses, how to move on from awkward silences, and what to look for to know you're on the right path and heading in the right direction. All of this together, my entire system, plus all of these bonuses available to you, put together, would normally cost you over $1,000. And today, it's all yours for just $77.95. Which nowadays, let's be honest, it's less than the cost of a tank of gas and a dinner date. I'm sure you can imagine the changes you'd see in your life from these bonuses alone. And if you get to be like most of the guys who tried just a fraction of this stuff, you'll feel automatic power, control, and confidence in getting who and what you want. You'll feel unstoppable in your ability to turn women on, even if they've already turned you down before, and even if you're already in the friend zone. Unstoppable in getting women to notice, see, and desperately want you. To the point where they convince themselves that they need you and are willing to do anything to make you theirs. You'll effortlessly get women without having to lie, without having to use tricks, or techniques that just don't seem to work for you. And more importantly, without having to change the man you are right now to become somebody you're not. Just imagine with me for a second. Imagine all those nerves, awkward silences, self-doubt, and what am I doing wrongs. Just imagine all of that magically disappearing around women you want. Imagine frustration and flaky women becoming a thing of the past. Imagine walking into a crowded bar, street, grocery store to have your pick of absolutely any woman you want. Of being the guy that every other guy points to and says, what the hell does he have that I don't? Better than that, imagine having women light up and eager to talk to you, touching your chest and twirling their hair, demanding, hey, take my number, without you having to ask, without you even having to try anymore. Wouldn't that feel good to you? Wouldn't that make meeting and talking to women that much more enjoyable? Just invest this one-time fee right now and you will get lifetime access to unlimited women, no matter how long you're in the program and no matter how many times I update it. You'll get everything I've talked about, the complete Speak to Spark Arousal program, all of my bonuses, and lifetime access, all just for one investment fee right now. And all you have to do is click on the button below this video to enroll in the program right now. Just click the button below, enter your credit card information on the next page, and you'll instantly get everything you need. Full access to Speak to Spark Arousal, and that much closer to getting inside the heart, mind, and body of any woman as quickly as you want. And here's Jessica J's 60-day bulletproof 100% money back guarantee. Here's how it works, and all you have to do, just say, okay, maybe Jessica, to Speak to Spark Arousal. Go through the program, do the exercises, listen to everything I have to say about hooking women within minutes of meeting. Use this power over women to see for yourself the switch in how they react to you, look at you, and eventually throw themselves at you. If, for whatever reason, you are not 100% satisfied with Speak to Spark Arousal, all you have to do is shoot me an email at jessica@levelupseduction.com. Let me know that, hey Jessica, I went through more than half of it and didn't get a single thing worth using out of this, and I will very gladly rush your entire investment back ASAP. No hard feelings, no questions asked. I promise. Take a full 2 months and see for yourself how quickly Speak to Spark Arousal can give you the control you've always needed and the endless possibilities you've always wanted in your dating life. Why am I willing to be so generous with this guarantee? Because I want this for you, and I'm 100% confident that you'll get everything you want from it. I want you to feel what it's like to stop trying so hard with women, to feel what it's like to have women work to get you, to finally put an end to competing with other men, to finally get women who otherwise ignore you to look at you like they'll do anything to have you. And trust me, I want this for the women out there too. For the girlfriends of mine who beg me to set them up with guys I've personally taught, and for the women who reach out to me asking if I can send some guys over once I've molded them into real men, when I know damn well that great guys like you are everywhere, just being overshadowed by louder, more obnoxious assholes that nobody can ignore. And all you have to do to enroll is click the button below this video and get immediate access to the program right now. Just click the button down below, enter your credit card information on the next page. Once you submit that, you'll be sent 2 emails from me. An email with your login information to the Speak to Spark Arousal program, and another giving you the first taste of your program. By the end of tonight, you'll be able to go out to the supermarket, bar, club, or wherever you want to use what you now know and feel what it's like to be the prize every woman hopes to win. You'll be able to use what you know on girls who've already said, let's just be friends, or women you've known for a while and have always wanted, and yet don't want to cross the line with, without wondering what the hell to do next, and without working harder to push yourself, just to get laughed at and watch your woman walk away towards some other guy. Before we go, I want to talk to you about the one thing women find more attractive than anything else. The one thing we respond to more than the guys who have something amazing to offer. Ask any woman to be completely honest about this, and she'll tell you. The one thing we're attracted to more than confidence is action. Women are drawn like moths to a flame by a man who has no problem doing what he wants and isn't afraid to just act. It's the reason rude, obnoxious frat guys will get laid way more than the quiet, doubtful guys in the corner, even though we want nothing to do with those guys usually. Because they just act. Whether misguided or not, they just do whatever they want. It's the reason women read cheesy romance novels where the guy will stop at nothing to have her. These are the guys who just do whatever it takes to get the women they want. And those are the guys women fantasize about. Which brings us to one small act and baby step you need to take right now. If you're still watching this, it's because you really do want this. You want women pounding down your door to have you. And maybe after reading so many ebooks, going through so many online programs, or even spending thousands of dollars on your own training with other men, gurus, or pickup artists, you don't want to be made into a sucker again. And I don't blame you. Nothing's worse than the feeling of knowing you did all that for nothing. Which is why I'm going to make this decision as effortless as possible. Take a risk-free chance on getting access to exactly what it is that drives women wild, to the ultimate secret in getting us wet and wanting you within minutes of meeting or speaking. Get access to the power to make us ultimately choose you out of any other guy out there. And finally be seen as the man we've all been waiting for. Or not. I mean, you're free to leave this page, ignore what your gut is really telling you, go back to Googling what it takes, spending hours reading and searching and trying out different techniques to no avail, all the while wasting your precious time and hard-earned money on things that don't produce results that you want. You can go back to dealing with indifferent women, awkward silences, fake phone numbers, and flaked dates. You can go back to learning from guys and pickup artists who are more hellbent on creating little disciples than they are on getting you what you want. All the while drifting further and further away from who you really are, to become some dancing clown of a mess that girls are merely entertained by, only to run into the arms of a man that they actually feel something for. You can sure as hell make the decision to not act right now and find yourself wondering why you get ignored when you're just being nice, why you're still in the friend zone when every other guy treats her like shit, or why you never heard from her again when you could have sworn there was something there between you. Or you can be the wolf among the dogs. The man who gets what he wants every time, without sitting and waiting and begging for his treat. You can risk absolutely nothing, enroll in Speak to Spark Arousal, and learn the simple, proven 3-step method to having all the numbers, dates, women, and sex you wanted since puberty. Just click the button below this video right now. Enter your credit card information. Take a deep breath and risk absolutely nothing and dive into a whole new world where women come easily. Conversation flows naturally from you. Pressure to perform becomes obsolete, and numbers and dates double to replace awkward silences, fake numbers, and flaky women. Feel for yourself what it's like to have complete control in every conversation with women. Enough control where attracting women becomes second nature. Something that just happens without you even thinking or trying. Become the one irresistible guy in 200 that women see above the rest. And let me do all the work in finally getting the attracting women thing down in your life. As far as I'm concerned, when you really want something, you find a way to get it. And when you don't, you find excuses. If you've found at least one excuse as to why you shouldn't gain full access to Speak to Spark Arousal, then leave. There, I said it. If you're doubting whether or not you really want to instantly attract women, then you're not the guy I thought you were, or the type of guy I want using this stuff. And if you're okay with watching the video up until this point just to walk away without taking a chance on yourself, that's cool. That's fine. Really, I mean it. No hard feelings. This stuff isn't for everyone, and most guys aren't ready for it. And that's fine, that's okay. Not everybody's going to be ready for the big leagues, for that kind of change. You know what I mean? The kind of change where women gravitate towards you, throw themselves at you, do whatever it takes to have you. It's like going from playing soccer in your backyard to playing in the World Cup. Sure, it may be a dream come true, but you may not be ready. And that's okay. So, if you gotta go, cool. Please do, because now you've done us both a favor. Still here? Well, if you're a man who really wants this, then you are the guy I was looking for. The guy I want in my inner circle. So if, and only if, you don't have a single excuse left to give and are finally ready to start making lasting change to how women react to you, then join me. Click the button below this video to access Speak to Spark Arousal right now. You'll be taken straight into the membership area, and when I say membership, there's no continuous, recurring payment that you'll be surprised by and pissed off at me for. No tricks, no hidden fees. You'll get right inside, go through the program, have me personally guide you directly into all the women you can handle, and make sure you never miss out on another woman again. Make sure you never lose out to another guy again. And no matter where you are right now, make sure you level up in every way when it comes to finally getting what you want. Click the button now before it's too late. This video is now ending. This is your last chance to get Speak to Spark Arousal. This is your last chance to get the juicy bonuses you will never find anywhere else. It's time to start your new life. Time to change everything. Go ahead and click that button. I'll see you on the other side. With the rest of the 1%, with the rest of the wolves out there who've already joined the cause. Go ahead and place your order and click that thing right now. And welcome to the other side.